was cool. My name is Keith Lay, and welcome and thank you for being here, everyone here on campus and all of you online. I am a department chair in music production, and this is No Secrets, a conversation with Ashish Manchanda and Bruce Swedien. And let's welcome these fine gentlemen. Ashish coming from India, and very successful. We have a lot to talk about his businesses. And Bruce Swedien, one of the most famous and deserved, one of the Yoda of all recording engineering.
I can hear you.
So I'm going to start off with a little bit of background, and it's something about how do you find your mentor? You're all here for the right reasons, going for the directions of your heart, with music and other media. And these gentlemen have some interesting connections. And I'd like, Ashish, maybe you could speak a little bit about how you met Bruce. And Bruce, maybe you could speak a little bit about your mentor, a gentleman named Bill Putnam.
So Bruce,
we'll get it started.
Okay. Does this work? Yeah. How is everybody? Isn't this fun? Let me tell you one thing that I learned from Quincy and from Bill Putnam. Music first. Everything else is immaterial. If it doesn't move you here, forget it. And this young man here, Ashish, I mentored happily, and he has turned it into an incredible thing. He has a company called Flying Carpet Productions, and of which I am also very proud. But there's a couple of things that we should do. I'd like to show you the result of my mentoring this great young man here, and let's listen to something. Ashish, you got something to play?
Yes. There's a song you can queue up. I can go for that. Yes.
Je te dis non. Aujourd'hui, je fais ce que je veux.
What do you think of that? I mentored this guy. This is Ashish, also known as Ashishi Wishi. My affectionate.
Of course.
He's probably like a son to me. And I was fortunate in the early years of my career and in Chicago to have been mentored by a guy by the name of Bill Putnam. Do you know that name? Yeah, well, I can never forget Bill Putnam. The day I was working at Universal Studios, and we were working on a big band called Stan Kenton. You heard of him? Yep. And Bill said, okay, I'm going to Los Angeles, but actually I'm just going to go out and have a cigarette and I'll be right back. Well, he left me working on the Stan Kenton recording, and I didn't see him again for 5 years. I guess he thought I was ready. So it's amazing to me how much I learned from Bill Putnam. And I hope you learned something from me. Yeah. This guy is great. He has what I call ears. And I know they speak about this here at Full Sail, but first thing I'm going to say is don't play the music too loud for too long. An SPL of 90 is sufficient. You understand what I'm talking about? Okay. Now I'd like to kind of move on and play one of my earliest recordings, and I recorded this in Studio A at Universal in Chicago. And have you ever heard of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons? This is their big hit, Big Girls Don't Cry.
Big girls don't cry. Big girls don't cry. Big girls, they don't cry. Big girls don't cry. Who said they don't cry? My girl.
I want to introduce a young lady that was at that session, and indeed has been at every session I have ever done. She's in the front row. B, stand up. Come on, stand up. This is my wife, B. Oh. It pays to get hooked up with someone that's got a good sense of humor too. that doesn't. Actually, is Eric here? I want a guy to stand up so that you made him. His name is Eric Fisher, and I'm doing a record with him now. And this is Eric Fisher. And in the words of Quincy, this sucker can sing. He can really sing. And he writes, too, which was something that Michael did really, really well. I think what we should do, since I guess we don't have a whole lot of time, is, are there any questions?
Well, I have one.
What?
You know, being no secrets, I'm just curious about that production. The reverb was from the room, or was that a chamber? It was so nice.
Well, it was a Bill Putnam designed echo chamber, which was a room, and Bill had an absolutely mysterious affinity for sound and everything. The echo chamber was behind the control room, huge studio, 80 feet long, ceiling higher than this, and 2 live chambers, and that was the reverb that you were just hearing there. And I also learned another thing from Bill Putnam, and that was not to use too much echo or reverb. He was very, very adamant about that. And if you want to go back and research one or two of Bill Putnam's works, it'd be the Patty Page records. And that's it.
Yeah, is that still 3-track, or is that 4?
That was done on 3-track.
Yeah.
Ampex invented the multi-track machine mainly with 3 tracks. It was in the early days of stereo. It was when we were still doing mono, but we'd have the orchestra on 2 tracks and the vocal on the 3rd track. So we could change the level of the vocal against the orchestra. But that's all that you could do. But at that time, that was a lot. And another guy, have you ever heard of Les Paul? Okay, he was something. He played live music at the Iridium Club in New York every night of his life. He and Mary Ford were a couple. And Les Paul, many of you have Les Paul guitars, because he was a pioneer. He actually came up with the first 8-track multi-channel recording machine. So I think what I'd like to do now is get some questions from you people, because I'm not prepared in any way, but I have this wealth of knowledge and experience that I'd like to give to this group with love. So, first question, please.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of yours. I'm sure there's nobody in this audience who isn't. So as I'm talking to my mentor and he's with his mentor, sir, I'd like to ask, why audio engineering? What drove you so that we get enough inspiration for us to get into this field where there are so many people crazy for jobs and to ensure that they can put their worth out there.
I understand. And actually, the reason that drove me probably to do this is here too. My daughter, Roberta, she was born in 1953. And is that close enough? And she's an incredible musician. Classical music, which is fine with me. I prefer a little boogie woogie myself. But anyway, Roberta happened the first year or two of our marriage, and the rest is history. It's kind of interesting, though. Huh? Yeah. Had a family to support. Things got serious really fast.
You set up a studio early on in Minnesota, right? Before you went to
Yeah,
Chicago?
I'm from Minneapolis, or as we call it, Minnie No Place. Minnie No Place, Minnesota. Anybody here from Minnesota?
Nobody.
Yeah, they're frozen up there.
Boy. Okay, yeah, well, just B and I guess. And B actually grew up in India. So, but she has always heard all of these recordings before anyone else. And all I have to do is play her, and Eric knows about how this works, play a recording, then I watch B's face. And that tells me a lot about how good the recording is that we're doing. So I would say for all of you young guys, find a, and young women too that want to be recording. I don't mean engineers. That's sounds like somebody that drives a train. But find men or women, find a significant other that you trust. That's what I did, and I know that works. She's incredible. Really
So
good.
I'd like to ask the same question to Ashish, sir, too.
So what drove me?
Yes, sir.
I think music inspires me. It makes me do good things, and music helps bring delight into people's lives. Yeah, so we want to do that the best that we can. Yeah, so it's a big service actually. Yeah, and like Bruce spoke about B, I have my dear wife Ujla, who listens to everything before it goes out. So she's.
And incidentally, did you know that women hear better than men? They can. And women also live longer than men. Or maybe it just seems longer, but
Well, you know, both of you guys are immensely intelligent people. I know for you, Bruce, you built a transmitter when you were like, what, 15, of a radio transmitter, so you
Yes,
could
I
broadcast
did.
your recordings?
And I was, it was in the days when we were combination engineers, time salesmen, you did everything. I'm going to give you my little spiel that I used to do when I was a disc jockey. This is WMNE in the heart of the Red Cedar Valley. You haven't heard that before.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
So you guys could have done anything. You could have gone, but you stayed to music.
And we
Thank
probably
goodness.
did. Yeah. You do anything. In the old days at Universal, we didn't have a bunch of second engineers and people to help. We had to set up, and Bill Putnam made sure that all the microphones were cared for beautifully and respected. I did learn a lot about the respect for microphones from Bill Putnam. What a guy. Boy, just incredible. Another one?
How you doing, gentlemen? My name is Louis Rivera. I'm in the music production program. And my question is to you, sir, what are your thoughts on the modern state of like pop music with the technology compared to the past? And any advice you would have for up-and-coming music producers and engineers?
I'll do that. Okay, my advice would be don't listen to records. Go out and hear live music in a good acoustical situation. We probably have places on campus here where that can be done, right?
Yeah, and they
Because
get,
I know I've been talking about this. I actually have talked about this all my life. It's very important for the people that are shaping music recording to know what music sounds like. And it doesn't sound like that doo-doo that comes off of records that are being produced today. I mean, there are some good records. I'm sure most of you know about Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga. Woo! Incredible. That girl can sing. And I'm a kid compared to Tony Bennett. He's 89 years old. Check them out on the internet, please. And listen, don't listen too loud. And for God's sake, don't use earphones. Please. More hearing is ruined by earphones than any other way. And if you're out in a club or somewhere they're playing the music too loud, do what I do. Get up and leave. An SPL of 90 is all that we should listen to. If you keep your pressure level at 90, you can listen days. I'm 81 years old, and my hearing, I'm proud to say, is about as good as it ever was.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Next. Somebody-
Hi. Yeah. You want to go first? Oh,
You can go first.
oh, thank you. Y'all can hear me? Okay. Well, first thing I just wanted to say is, and this is being completely honest, my first memory that I can remember ever was listening to the opening drums of Wanna Be Starting Something. So I just want to thank you for your service to the music industry.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Wow.
So the question I want to ask, it's kind of a flat question, but I'm hoping to get a good story out of it. You worked on every Michael album from Off the Wall to Invincible, right?
No.
No?
Black or White, I didn't do. A guy by the name of Billy Buttrell
Okay.
did those, but
But you did most.
they sound pretty good.
What was your favorite Michael album to work on and why?
Oh, Thriller.
I'm assuming.
Thriller, because it made, let me put it this way, it made a statement that had the elements of imagination, musicality, and originality. Don't try and do the same old crap that everybody else is doing. We don't need any more of that. Go ahead.
Thank you.
That clear?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next.
Okay. Since you have worked with Michael Jackson.
Who are you? What's
Okay.
your,
My name is Isabella Alzate, and I'm from the
Isabella?
Entertainment Business Program.
what'd you say?
Isabella.
Isabel.
Yeah,
Isabella.
okay.
Okay. What was your favorite memory of working with Michael Jackson?
Oh, wow. Michael, okay. Michael never came to the studio unprepared. He never read the lyrics from the paper. He always had them memorized. Now that takes dedication, supreme dedication. And if you still listen to Michael, and I think there are a lot of people that do, I think you will see how original his ideas were. And Michael did this. His father was awful to him. One time, we were recording Michael in Hollywood, and Michael's father was there, and he made him so upset that Michael had to stop singing. So Quincy and I took Joe Jackson and just walked him out of the place. We told him, get out of here and don't ever come back. Don't be afraid to do something that's different. Don't try and copy what people are doing. That's bullshit. I'm going to teach you a Swedish word, okay? I'm a Swede, so bullshit in Swedish is skitsnack. Don't ever go for that. Music is serious. You know what Quincy Jones says? Music is the only real magic in life. Also, don't be afraid to work in the dark. I never finalize a piece of music, a mix or anything, without turning all the lights out. You see, the reason for that is hearing is our second sense. Vision is our first sense. So if we're in a well-lit room, you're going to be looking around and thinking about everything except what you should be thinking about, which is the music. There's nothing else. Any questions about that? Thanks.
All right. My name is Danique.
Is what?
Danique.
How do you spell it?
Donique.
Donique. Wow.
Correct.
Is that French?
Yes, sir.
I'm part French.
Is that right? I'm not, though.
Comment allez-vous? No, okay.
Well, I'm a recording arts major. I would like to thank you, gentlemen, for coming too, by the way. I had one question. Obviously, Michael Jackson is probably the greatest to ever do it. But besides Michael, who will be your favorite artist you worked with?
Oh, wow. A lot of them. I can think of, you know who Benny Goodman is?
Nope.
Clarinet player, supreme. Clarinet is not an easy instrument to play. Benny Goodman, I did some recordings long before many of you were born with Benny Goodman. You know who Benny Goodman is, right? You know, yeah. Okay, go out and find some records of Benny Goodman. He was a killer.
Benny Goodman. Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Somebody on this side.
Yes. My name is Jared McCutcheon. I'm recording of the arts. So my question is to you, Bruce. Since you have worked with so many greats, such as Michael Jackson and so on, what do they have that artists today don't have? as in like skills, perspectives, visions, and so on.
That's a great and very perceptive observation. I would say try to work as hard as you possibly can and don't ever settle for anything that's halfway. Michael never, ever would do that. Ever. He would, like I say, stay up all night, stay up for days. When we did The Wiz, have any of you seen The Wiz, the movie? You like it? Check Michael out in that first scarecrow situation. That is a good example of Michael's ability to put all of himself into the music. Anything else?
I guess, what do you consider, how can you consider Michael Jackson as one of the greats? You know, because we all think it, but what are considerations, and how do you determine that?
Well, do you know of anyone else that has been able to do what he did? No. I can answer that in one two-letter word, no. Michael was the greatest. And he was wonderful to work with, right, B? Just the greatest. Listen, yeah.
I was going to say, then what do you think about James Brown?
James Brown? Woo. He was, I think Michael would say, if he were here today, he would say that James Brown was his mentor. And just absolutely incredible.
I'm sorry, so you can say worth ethic wise, as in achieving greatness and becoming, and I guess obtaining his level, it was his worth ethic.
What's the question?
Sorry, was it his worth ethic?
Ethic? Yeah, absolutely. Michael wasn't afraid to work. Most people look at the big money you can make in popular music if it's done well and think that it's like falling off a log. You just wait for the mail to come and go to the bank with the checks. That isn't the way it works. It's hard work. It's tough. It's not easy. You understand what I mean?
Yes. Thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Jared.
Jared. Next.
My name is Bernardo Reyes. I'm a recording arts student. I read an interview on Sound of Sound magazine from 2009, and you said that the most, like the signature of your sound, one of the signature of your sound is stereo recording techniques. Could you expand on that, please?
Okay. Good point. If you have a pencil and a paper, I'm going to give you a man's name that I'd like you to write down and research. Alan Dower Blumlein. Do we teach anything about Blumlein
Yes,
technique?
we do.
Yeah. This was the father of modern stereo recording. Now, stereo music reproduction isn't something coming out of the left speaker and something different coming out of the right speaker. It may be a wide, wide image that will be very exciting if properly recorded and mixed and sold. Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're tracking, you do everything stereo?
No.
Not everything?
No,
Anything?
Oh yeah, I do a lot of the music in true stereo, but for instance, low frequencies are usually best represented by the sound coming out of both speakers, no matter what kind of a playback system you're hearing it on, like in a car, at home, or whatever. So the bass and the kick, Ashish knows my style, bass and the kick is always assigned equally to both tracks. You understand that concept? And then, just for interest, I will overhead mic the drums and then assign those to stereo tracks. And then the snare I'll put separate, and the hat I'll put separate. Now, do you know why I put the snare separate? Why is that important? Have we ever talked about this? Okay, the snare usually represents what we call the backbeat. Beats 2 and 4. Most popular music is conceived to be heard in 4/4 time signature. So beats 1 and 3 are downbeats, 2 and 4 are backbeats. You get the concept? And to add a little bit of stereo interest, Eric knows about this because it's what I've been doing on all this. So the snare drum is slightly to the right, the hat is slightly to the left. One thing I'd like to say is that while we don't have a lot of time today, I have no secrets. I don't believe in secrets. And Ashish, we've talked about this at great length. And any information, I'll happily give it to you. Hi.
Mic check. Is this thing on? Okay.
The right
I-
side.
Oh, go ahead.
Sure, you can go ahead.
Ladies first.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Wow. Hi. My name is Susie Jean, and I
Is
am
what?
Susie Jean.
Susie Ja?
Jean.
How's that spelled?
Jean.
Oh, Jean.
Yeah.
Are you French?
No, I'm Haitian, but I have a French last
Well, they
name.
speak French there.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
To some
okay.
extent.
Sorry.
Okay. My question is directed more to Ashish, and with your production company. How does one exactly break into the Bollywood industry? Because I noticed you have a lot of beautiful Indian music. So how does one go about?
Can I give you a little hint?
Sure.
By being really good. Which this guy is.
Yes.
Over to you.
Yes, so you just call, you just get there. It's like if you want to work in Hollywood, you got to go to Hollywood. If you want to work in Bollywood, which is the Indian movie industry, you just come to Bollywood. Yeah, you make a mark and make sure you get the gig you want. We would do the same when we come over here. Yeah, so just identify either production houses or what do you do? What's your major?
Film. Bachelor's in film.
So what is it that you'd like to do?
Oh, I would like to be a screenwriter.
Oh, nice. So it's a good time for screenwriters to come into the Indian movie industry and give it another flavor. Yeah, so definitely. I mean, just come by, give us a call, and then we'll figure it out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello? There we go. How you doing, Mr. Bruce? My name is Jerry, Recording Arts. First thing I want to say is...
Your name is what?
Jay.
Jay? J-A-Y?
Just go by Jay. Yes, sir.
Letter J?
Yeah, just the letter.
Okay.
Just call me a letter. First thing I want to say, this is a blessing that you've made it so far, and I mean, it's a blessing that we're all here to even be able to speak to you, because you pretty much created that legendary point in music that, you know, like set the trend. But when I wanted to ask you was, since you've been here since
What
like the
you
beginning.
What you what?
I wanted to ask you, since you've been
No,
here.
no. Say what?
What was that?
Axe?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question. No.
Where did you learn to speak English?
Many places.
Ask. Okay, ask.
Ask.
You know, it's important for us all to speak the language well. Ask. Okay, sorry.
That's my accent. I can't, you know, it's, gotta give it to me.
No excuse.
But you've been here since pretty much the beginning of that change in pop music, and how was the transition for you through the times?
I loved it. It was great. I got to work with the best people in the industry, not only in the studio, but the musicians. I still do.
Did you stick to your original recording styles, or did you actually start to change as times changed when you were recording?
I don't think I've ever changed. And I don't listen to other people's recordings either. When I have, I'm usually very disappointed.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Bruce, on that not changing, could you talk a little bit about your console?
Oh.
Speaking of that concept of...
Yeah. The console that I have in my beautiful little studio at home is a Harrison 32 series. Are you familiar with that desk? It's an older design, but it has the most gorgeous sound and the EQ and I have the best reverbs in the business. You familiar with the new Bricasti reverb? Love it. Love it. And it has knobs on it where you can set the pre-delay to whatever. Usually I'll use a pre-delay of about 110 milliseconds and then a reverb of about 2 or 3 seconds, which is kind of what natural reverb sounds like.
And automation and...
Oh, yes, I have Pro Tools automation. And there is automation on the desk, but it's kind of from another era. So I don't use that. But Pro Tools has pretty decent automation. And I guess I should say something about my pal Ryan Williams, who went to Full Sail. You remember him? Tall guy. Yeah. Anyway, Ryan's got some ears on him. And also, he's not afraid to work. How many of you people would rather not be up all night making records? Or will you do that if you have to? Yeah. I see a lot of people nodding, yes, that's great. Where is it written? I've said this on this stage before. Where is it written that music recording is easy? It isn't. Also, don't be afraid to try something different. On one song, I think it was Billie Jean, I went to the mailing department at Westlake Audio and got a 4-foot-long mailing tube and had Michael sing in one end and then put the other end where the sound comes out, put that into a microphone. Now you've got a little trivia information there. Go home and check that out. Boy, it got quiet.
You're trying to remember where that is. It's like, okay, where was that? Where? Yeah, they're gonna go home and figure it out.
You.
Hi, my name is Christian. I'm from Ecuador.
Ecuador?
Yes, in South America. I would like to know, like, because you are both very successful, what's the one thing that helped you in your career and your life to get successful and to have like a balanced life, to work hard, but also to be with your family?
Well, that's very easy to answer. You have to find someone like B who loves the business too and who has good ears and is not afraid to stay up all night. It's not easy. It's funny. Some people look at the lifestyles of the recording stars and think that it came to them easy. It didn't. It's tough. But let me tell you this, when you get there, it's great. And I mean that, yeah. I guess you're next. You're next.
Okay. My name's Sean Riggins. I'm in the Recording Arts program. First, I'd like to thank you so much for coming. Also,
Thank you for having me.
shortly after Michael passed, I lived in Texas and I called you. And I wanted to thank B for passing the message to you, and thank you for calling me back and giving me the time. You gave me some great advice. It really changed my life.
What was it?
You told me to move to New York or to move to California, and 4 days after that, I packed everything in my car and I moved to New York.
Wow. Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you. The question that I had is, for people who are graduating and leaving, do you think that it's more important for us to find a studio or to find a great mentor?
That's tough. Keith?
I'm looking at you.
No, that's a tough question. I think you must answer that for yourself.
Now?
No, I don't think we have that much time.
I have one more question.
Yes.
When this is over, can I please shake your hand?
Oh, wow. Come here. Climb up here. Wow. Better than that. Give me a hug.
Yes.
Wow, what's your name? Sean? Great. Boy. Isn't that something? It's great to be able to change people's lives for the better. Next.
Check. Okay. I wanted to know, since a lot of people have been talking about the albums that have been released after Michael had passed, the remix albums Escape and whatnot. I was wondering, since you were so close to him, what did you think about them releasing those after he's gone, and what do you think he would think?
Well, all I know is that Michael had wonderful taste, loved to work, loved the music, and was supremely talented. Boy, it got quiet.
Okay.
Does that help?
Kinda.
Yeah. Well, I want to help you. What else can I tell you?
Well, yeah, I know. I just think he seemed to be a perfectionist, and I mean, taking demos and turning them into songs and releasing them. I mean, just in my opinion as a fan, I don't think it's really very right, and I don't personally. I mean, but then again, you know him a lot better than I did, so I figured ask someone who knows him pretty well.
Yeah. Well, all I can tell you is that Michael was a great guy. Loved to work, but more important than all of that, he loved music. And everything that we do as recording people has to be about the music. It's not about the buttons or the equipment or any of that. I mean, everything's important.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So these will be our last 4 questions. Sorry.
Okay.
Hello, sir. So you've been a pioneer to a lot of recording techniques. Although the artists that you worked with were very innovative, you weren't less innovative behind the glass. What was your favorite memory of one of the most innovative recording techniques that you've done?
Whoa. I can answer that real quick. I was doing a project with Duke Ellington and his orchestra. And there, in the second verse, there's a trombone solo. And I thought to myself, gee, how could I make a real statement with this trombone solo, but not use any electronic devices? So you know what I did? I had the trombonist walk away from the trombone section, go in the back of the studio, away from all the mics and everything, and play his solo into the orchestra shell. And check it out sometime. I think the song that was on is Volupte, Duke Ellington.
Were you taking a risk to do something like that?
Oh, yeah. I
could have lost your job.
Actually, you reminded me of a little story of, there was a real nasty guy that was a part owner of Universal, and he shall go nameless, but his name was Mason Coppinger. Roberta, you remember him? Oh, I know B did. And here's how he would do his recordings. He had a little book, and he had what microphone and the settings that he would use on those microphones for each recording. Terrible technique. That's the lack of technique. You know why? Because it eliminates the possibility of chance, of really lucking up on a fantastic sound. Like this thing with Michael and the mailing tube, that was pure luck. Yeah. Something else? We're over here.
It's me again. Here's my last question. How do you start doing something when nobody else is doing it?
I don't know. You just do it.
Without
You,
being
you don't sit around and think to yourself, now let's see, should I do this or should I do that? Do it. Just do it. Is that clear?
Yeah, pretty much.
Clear as mud, right? Next.
Hello, I'm JD. I'm in the RA program here. Um, they always say be surrounded by people who help you and support you. Working with Michael, how well and like did you feel like he ever pushed you to make you better, and how so did he do that?
Michael, yeah, that's great. Michael never said a thing to me. Quincy either. Or indeed, Count Basie, Duke Ellington. I guess that what I was doing, I was so dedicated to, it was obvious that I only wanted to do the best that I could do. All else be damned. No, it isn't important to get 8 hours of sleep. When Quincy and I were doing The Color Purple, we stayed up for 3 days. Quincy and I went through second engineers by the half dozens. They carried them out on stretchers. Remember, B? Have you seen the motion picture, Color Purple? Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Okay, listen, there's a guy that I got a job in that picture for called John Lee Hooker. You ever heard of him?
No, sir.
John Lee Hooker. He's done a bunch of incredible recordings with Bonnie Raitt. Check them out. You'll never be the same.
Thank you.
Yeah. One more?
Hello, my name is Jamez Lindsay. I'm in recording arts, and I just want to say thank you for being so transparent with us all, with the no secrets policy you have. It allows us to all really get the truth and understand and actually get a piece of what you know, and you can live on that way. So I appreciate that a lot, and I think we all do. My question was more so...
Well said, well said.
My question was more so, what were the struggles that you faced? Because I know everyone here knows what your success is, but I don't think anyone really knows what was the hard part that you had to, face with doing all the things that you...
There wasn't any hard part.
Okay.
I wanted to do it well so bad, nothing else mattered. Do you get my drift? Do you understand what I'm talking about? In other words, in my heart here, I wanted to make a statement with the music that I recorded that was different from anybody else's. I didn't want to be like anyone. To me, that would have been failure. And I think if you listen to the recordings, particularly Michael, you'll understand what I'm talking about. They do sound pretty good, don't they? By the way, do you know what Michael's nickname was? Smelly. Michael was a Jehovah's Witness, so he didn't curse. Never heard Michael, except on one piece of music, Michael used the word damn. Check it out, She's Out of My Life. And B was the one that heard that beautiful song the first time. Tom Baylor wrote it. But Michael was one of a kind. I don't know how else to put it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we can, yeah, great. I hate to stop now, but we don't have any people. Anybody got a question? No, here we got one.
Do you think when you're onto something and you want to be as good as you, that people are
Expect it.
attracted to you somehow and things work out?
I don't know. And frankly, I don't care.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing? My name is Lawrence Nance, and I'm in the RA program. My question to you is...
Your name is what, Lawrence?
Lawrence Nance.
Like Lawrence Welk?
Of Arabia? Yeah, like that.
Man.
My question is...
Everybody know who Lawrence Welk was?
Right.
Yeah. He was great. Go ahead.
My question is to Mr. Ashish. After learning from a guy that's accomplished so much, coming in brand new, and spending the time with him like you have, and having the career that's flourished as you do, and becoming a Hall of Fame member, what do you think a couple of things that he instilled in you that nobody else could have, the things that you drove home to you that stuck the most to you?
I think you don't settle and you don't stop till you get enough.
What?
Don't stop till you get enough.
Yeah. I've heard that before. Yeah. Isn't he great?
Hello.
But I want to say one more little thing. I love Full Sail. And you young people are really fortunate to be able to go to a place like this where you can really learn about recording music. Looks like we got a couple other victims
My name
here.
is Christopher. I'm a music production major. Basically, my question to you is, basically, in music in general, we're living in a world where there's a lot of artists, there's a lot of talent coming out, but a lot of us lack the resources or the promotion that would really put us on the big scale. And I also realize that what is being commercialized the most is not necessarily the best music, and a lot of good talent gets missed out because of that.
That is
So
right.
my question to you is, what's your advice to anybody, artist, producer, doesn't matter, any type of person in the music industry that might lack those resources or lack the equipment that truly...
Okay, let me answer this.
Sure.
I come from a basically Swedish family situation in Minneapolis. I mean, we weren't dirt poor, but we didn't have a lot of money either. But my mom and dad told me, do what you want to do. And I believed them. And I did it. And found a person to live with me that felt the same way as I do.
Thank you.
Ashish, could you respond to that too?
It's the same thing. I think my parents did the same thing. And they said, do what you want to do. And they've been a part of every part of this journey. My family has been every part of this journey. My wife has been walking and seen this, has been, I mean, it's challenging. This industry is challenging. Yes, and you need to have a great, loving and understanding family. I think then it completes the picture. So I think we are blessed to have a lovely family and lovely kids. And I really like to thank my wife, Ujla, and my mom and dad. And I remember when I was leaving India, I remember my dad said, you know what, there's no school for creativity.
That's right. But there never has been.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, great.
Hello, sir.
Wait a minute.
Sorry.
Isn't this fun? You having fun? Good. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay, this will be our last question. Hello, sir. My name is Bhushan, and my question to you is if there was one piece of your work that you think is the best, what would it be? And this question goes to both of you.
Thriller. Michael was criticized for Thriller when we first did it. And Quincy believed in it, I believed in it, Michael believed in it. Do you know who Vincent Price is? Okay. It was the first time that Vincent Price had ever worked with earphones. His eyes were like this. And that's a pretty good sounding piece of music. It's indeed become the biggest selling piece of recorded music in history. Yeah.
Sir, if you can answer the same question.
Same. I think Devdi in India is a soundtrack that we did. It was a lovely soundtrack, and I think we pushed ourselves, and we did a lot of experiments on it. In fact, we have a cut. If on the way out we can hear it out. Do we have
Can we
that
play?
one called Nayan Tarse?
Also, I'd like to ask, would you like to listen to Thriller? Okay, let's play Ashish's thing, and then we'll move on out of here with Thriller.
That's a great
Thank you
idea.
so much, sir.
And this was done on tape, a very old tape machine. Which kind of sounds like the DH-24.
सावन बरसे सावन बरसे तपिश की फुहार सावन बरसे सावन बरसे सावन बरसे चुभन दे हजार सावन बरसे गाली से लागे मला सावन बरसे 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 रे बिसर गए बिसर गए बिसर गए बिसर गए हम चल चल पर हो गए बदल स्वाहा स्वाहा बिसर गए बिसर गए बिसर गए बिसर गए ये सारा में गए रामा 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 रे
good fun. It was good fun. That's a soundtrack from the movie Dev D. That song is called Nayan Tarse. Yes, you can get it online and buy it.
Wait a minute, we got to hear Thriller.
Yeah, we're going to do
Yes.
Thriller. We got to do Thriller.
Yes.
And how long's the track? Should we be... I think we should just listen to it and give it some applause when it's up. What do you think? Let's crank it up and do some Thriller.
Can we turn these lights out?
Yeah.
That's Michael doing the Wolf House.
Thank hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell. The foulest stenches in the air, the funk of 40,000 years, and grisly ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no mortal can resist the evil of the thriller.
Bruce Swedien, Ashish Manchanda.
Thank you.
Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I want to take just 1 second. Where's that young man that was dancing? Come on up here. Get your ass up here. Come here. Right here. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, play it again. He's gonna dance.
Yeah.
Come on. Michael was here. Hit it, hit it. Stand on your toes. Stand on your toes. Whoa! Yeah! Woo! Love you. Love you. Yeah, really good. You know what? I think Michael was here. At full sail. Thank you. Ball.
One more hand for Bruce and Ashish.
Boy, oh boy.
So listen up. The way I'd like you to exit is through these doors, and Bruce is going to be available to sign. He's got books for you to purchase if you'd like, and you can meet him in person. If you were interested in that, it's still through this door, and just make a line to the right and come to the lobby. We'll maybe see you later. Thank you.
That was great.
Bruce, Ashish.